Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Leah and I am a therapist at Project Revolution 360, where you can find me at www.balicounselling.com. I would love for you to subscribe to this channel where you will be finding fresh new videos, a couple every week even, around the subjects of all things relationships, in particular narcissistic abuse. It is my endeavour to bring two people who have systematically been in the grips of narcissistic abuse, to bring them empowerment, education, tactics, tips and strategies so that they may unclip themselves from this age-old form of abuse. And today what I would like to talk to you about is the different types that are more susceptible to the narcissist than the average Joe, and why, and what you can do about it. And I'm going to start off with what I class as the forgiver. Now, I would love for you to comment in the comments below and let me know who you are and what role you've been playing in. And we're going to start with forgiveness because we're taught, aren't we? We're taught consistently we must forgive. It is the right thing to do, which is all well and good, but when you come across a narcissist and they do something and it goes against what should be happening in your relationship and you forgive, do you know what the narcissist sees that as? Not this is a really great person and do you know what, I don't want to lose them, therefore I'm going to change my behaviour. They ultimately see it as a permission slip. They mark that down and they go, okay, I can get away with this. I'm going to widen those goalposts a little further apart and see how much more I can push. And of course the poor old forgiver who's spiritually aligned and just wants to see the good in people is like, okay, I must forgive again and again and again because the Bible tells me so, or spirituality tells me so. And what I want to say to you, my darlings, is this is a beautiful attribute to have, to be that kind and soft and gentle and want to see the good in people. But you have to have a cut-off point. You can't keep forgiving, because what you are doing is giving permission to the narcissist on how to treat you. And for someone like you, my darling, they will go all out until you are completely and utterly depleted. You know, the best person to forgive in this is yourself for not continuously keeping on forgiving the narcissist. Because let's describe the narcissist again, shall we? This is not your average Joe. Like I said, the average Joe who perhaps messes up in a relationship or a friendship or at work will then see the result of their actions and really value and empathize with how that could have affected somebody else, and will make marks into wanting to discuss, take responsibility, maybe not at first, most conversations can be a little bit defensive, but eventually they'll get to that point where they're like, you know what, you're right, okay, I'm going to take that on board and I'm, going to make sure that doesn't happen again. And that's what happens. And they're the people who deserve your forgiveness, those who are capable of being able to not take advantage of that beautiful attribute that you possess. The narc, unfortunately, is not like that. They don't believe in changed behaviours. Scientifically, it's been proven that the only way they will change their behaviours is when there's something in it for them. Remember, folks, personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder has been scientifically researched, and it has shown, Google it, that they can change their behaviour. But it's not sincere, it's simply to get what they want. So for example, if you caught your narcissist online talking to other people, and they really don't want to lose you because you're the main income earner, or they're living in your house, or you have something that they want, for a time they will change their behaviour. Not because they recognise that hurt you. not because they care, because remember, they can't feel empathy. They are incapable of feeling empathy. They'll change their behaviour because it means that they can stay under your roof, or because they quite like having the fact that they haven't got to go to work, or they need your adoration or your kind of like caretaking ways, you know, because you cook their meals for them or create a beautiful environment for them to be able to sit on their throne. But it won't last, and it's not sincere. So forgive us. Give people the benefit of the doubt, sure. Allow them one chance, maybe even two, but that's it. Because otherwise, darlings, what you're going to end up is completely depleted, devoid, and absolutely empty. And we don't want that, because that means that you are even more entrapped in this toxic environment. So I am giving all forgivers out there permission to have a limit. And if you need to forgive yourself because you're not an endless supply of forgiveness, then do that. Because essentially, you're more important. We have to take care of self first. Cannot pour from an empty cup. Okay, and there's the rescuers. Okay, and you know who you are too, right? The narcissist can recognise a rescuer. In fact, the narcissist, in their essence, will always, within the first few dates, have some kind of sob story. They will anchor down into this despair tale that they have, something that gives them this kudos to, I'm such a victim, or I'm so brave because I'm so sensitive and able to share my truth, or don't you feel sorry for me, I've had it so rough. Be very aware of people who talk about that stuff right from the offset and actually in fact lead with it. You know, for the empath or for the forgiver or for the rescuer, that is like nectar. Oh, this beautiful individual, you know, that must have taken some real guts and courage to share that they've constantly been cheated on in their previous relationships. Or, oh my gosh, I can't believe what a terrible childhood they went through. Look, we've all had these upbringings, these types of experiences. But for those of us who do not want to wave a red flag at a bull, we hold back on that stuff. Yeah, we share about that stuff as we get to know people. Yeah, narcissists have no sense of timing for relationships. They don't have many skills either, so they will jump straight in with too much information straight away about their personal and private life. You know, stories of woe, how they've always been let down, how life has really been hard, how they've never found love, etc., etc., etc. And they will race a relationship along and make it much faster than it actually has to be, because they're not capable of just organically stepping in. They have one goal, and that is to pull you in and to feel as powerful as possible, as quickly as possible, and getting you to feel sorry for them, and getting you to feel that, you know, butter wouldn't melt is a very empowering place for a narcissist to be. Why? Because they'll use it later. Number one, they use it to pull you in so you feel sorry for them. Because who could possibly be a horrible or nasty or devious person who is so ready to share about how ashamed they were when they caught their ex-girlfriend in bed with another person who just happened to be their best friend, or whatever story? You kind of instantly, when you're not aware, when you do not know the tactics of a narcissist, you at the beginning think, I've never met anyone so vulnerable and so honest. That's, you know, that's amazing. And you'll rush on in there, and essentially guard will be down, because they've presented as this very amenable, fragile, decent, nice, kind human being. What you don't see is that they will use that against you over and over and over and over again. And you as a rescuer who wants to be in a position where you want to make other people feel better, to have better lives, because you know what it's felt like to have a bad life and a bad upbringing. Please remember that, by the way. I'll refer to that later. So you want others to have that too. And also it gives you some self-esteem, right? There's nothing quite more empowering, or the feeling of I'm really needed or worthy, of when another human being looks to you to make their life better and you can successfully do it. So what I'm going to say is, don't. Rescue people who want to be rescued is what I will say. You know, a very dear mentor of mine said many years ago, Leah, what you have is valuable. Who you are is valuable. Your heart is huge and you will help many people. But you only help those who want to be helped, who will walk with you, not who you have to drag. Because if you have to drag them, they're not your people. In fact, they don't want to be helped. They just want to dump. They just want a soft place to land. And he was absolutely right, and I have that very same philosophy still today. Rescuers, there are plenty of people out there who want the light that you are shining, who want to be able to be shown, not forced or dragged, but want to be shown different doorways from which they can walk through. They're your people, and those people will walk through them. They won't walk up to them and go, nah, or complain constantly about where they're at, even though they know there's a door that they can go through. Narcissists will. They'll consistently complain about how unhappy they are, or how depressed they are, or how they just can't seem to get X, Y, and Z, but they won't actually do anything about it. You can't rescue a dead weight. They're using it as a tactic, and I want you to ask yourself, why do I keep falling for this? What is it about this person that I am staying blinded to? Because if you've got a dragon, if you're being manipulated to consistently feel sorry for them, if you are having their past thrown at you as a way of you excusing their shitty behaviour, there has to be something within you that is keeping you there. And I really want you to be very honest with yourself and ask yourself why. That's another whole ball game. But I think for a lot of it, it's because people aren't aware. They don't have the education. They don't realise this is what's happening. So they drain themselves, knocking their head against a brick wall, because in their mind they think one day this man or this woman will want to be helped and it's my duty. And what I will say is, it's not. You know, the universe is a very powerful place, and it will very much present to you who is meant to be walking with you, who is meant to be on your path, and who is not. And the path of resistance is not the path. The draggers, the people that you have to pull along, they're not your people. Keep going forward. Please stop forgiving. Stop trying to rescue those who don't want to be rescued, who are simply using it against you. And come off that path. These people are manipulative and tactical. And their only gain, my darlings, is to get as much supply, as much power in themselves as they possibly can at the expense of you. And I want you to step back and look at those that are valuable to you. Look at those that are appreciative of you. Look at those that are never going to take advantage of you or drag you over hot coals. Engage your rest of your relationships on that. You're not meant to be with a vampire. This is not the Lost Boys. This is your life. And there are plenty of people out there who would love to meet someone like you with the kindest heart that forgives and allows people to make mistakes, wants for everybody to have a decent life. But don't let those that are going to take advantage of that be a part of that tribe. Remember, loves, it's not you, it's them.